And Chris Crowther is here as the number 6 ranked player in the world against the young upstart Daniel De La Rosa. And De La Rosa on the first side out of the game, showing his quickness with a dive and a re-kill, handling Chris Crowther's power rather well. Daniel De La Rosa has had the tournament of his life so far. Great serve by De La Rosa. De La Rosa has beaten earlier rounds the legendary Ruben Gonzalez and the number 3 player in the world, Jose Rojas. Chris Crowther, like I said, currently ranked number 6, is used to being on the big stage. And let's see if De La Rosa has what it takes to go even further than young Alex Ackerman, who wound up losing to Alvaro Beltran earlier. We'll be joined shortly by John Scott after doing the player introductions. John Scott.
Hey, Russ, thanks a lot. Very exciting matchup here. It's the crippler. Chris Crowther comes into this event as the number 6 seed, playing 19-year-old and 19th seeded Daniel De La Rosa. De La Rosa cranks that forehand, almost catches Chris in the back. De La Rosa, for his small stature, can sure swing the ball. Swing that racket and put that ball at some very, very fast miles per hour, up around the 180, but he's not going to be outpowered by the giant. Chris Crowther stands in at 6 feet, 6 inches tall. He was clocked earlier this year at 190 miles an hour. This is why there's a big, powerful backhand serve, and De La Rosa catches it, but frames it a little bit and skips the ball. What does Daniel De La Rosa have to do to beat Chris Crowther?
Well, the one thing he doesn't have to do is get the nerves, jitters that Alex Ackerman had in the first match. De La Rosa hopefully will be a little more composed and play his game. Even though he is a big underdog, just like Alex Ackerman was against Alvaro Beltran, he is a big underdog against the crippler Chris Crowther, because Chris, just like Alvaro, is very used to this fishbowl glass court. But I have a feeling that the De La Rosa crowd, which is heavily favored, even though Chris is one of the more popular players on tour, there is a big crowd rooting for the underdog. And as you can hear it, they're excited with De La Rosa tying game 1 up here at 2-2. And before you ask me my predictions, John Scott, I am predicting an upset here in this quarterfinal match.
I think it can absolutely happen. Daniel De La Rosa had a huge fight on his hands yesterday in young Jose Rojas and was able to knock him off before beating Ruben Gonzalez, where that's kind of an asterisk. Yes, he did win, but it was 10-10 in the 4th. And Ruben's girdle fell off. I'm just kidding, as Ruben stands in behind us. But Ruben took a very hard spill on the right-hand side of the court. We're going to talk with him in just a second to see how he's feeling. But Daniel De La Rosa also had to qualify in to get here. There's a great diving attempt. We'll see Daniel all over the court. Lots of towel timeouts, I'm sure, as we progress through this match, which is currently in game number 1 at 3-3. Ruben comes into the broadcast booth. Ruben, how are you feeling right now? I know that you hated to go out like you did yesterday, but champions go out in many, many ways, and the classiest I think I've seen is how you went out standing and, refusing to forfeit the match. First off, how are you?
I am doing good right now. I'm a little disappointed, but my leg still hurts. I'm walking around in crutches, but I'm just glad it's hopefully it's not serious, but I'm doing good.
Now, yesterday, I was out over at the booth, and I saw the ambulance come in and take you out. You were in the hospital for quite a while yesterday. Do you have any diagnosis yet, or is that a wait till you get back home and see?
I got to wait till I get back home and see. They kind of what they looked at was, to see if there was my knee wasn't. If I, they thought maybe I broke my knee or but they think it's just a real hard pull hamstring.
I saw when you went down, I was watching the match. That was one of the matches that I wasn't going to be on the mic because I wanted to watch you play. You're the first professional I ever watched play, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But at 10-10 against Daniel De La Rosa, what were you thinking before you got hurt?
Oh, man, what I was thinking was that I was feeling good. I was enjoying this match, and I knew I was going to come up and win that fourth game. And if I knew if I was going to win that fourth game, I was going to get into a tiebreaker, and I knew I was going to win the tiebreaker. I felt good. I knew I saw it. I saw that young tense in his young kid's eyes, and just felt good about it. Yeah.
You started your comeback tour a year ago at this event. Is it officially over? We've heard from a lot of people, but not you yet. Is the tour run for you officially over?
The tour run on the IoT professional tour, it's done. I am been playing for 40 years, and I wanted to go with a bang. I wanted to really go all out this weekend, and I think I did.
Yeah, you absolutely left it on the court. And for those who haven't seen it, we'll show some replays of it later. Ruben took a very hard spill. He's never forfeited a match in 40 years of play. And so he stood back, holding himself up with his racket so that Daniel De La Rosa could finish out the game and Ruben could go out how he wanted to go out. Looking back on the last year, one of my highlights, and there's been a lot, but my highlights, probably the biggest, is losing to you in Canoga Park. Being some kind of footnote in history of you is a huge honor for me. But as you look back on it over the past year, what are some of the highlights that you're going to think about in your last season on tour?
Well, it definitely wasn't him playing you.
Biggest highlight is, of course, winning the Nationals, beating, Mike Yellen in Seattle, Washington, just to be number one. And that was in the semis. And then I had to play the finals to gain the national championship in the same weekend, in the same tournament. So I think that was pretty hard. A lot of people, they come in and they win they become number one, but never win the nationals. And that year I did it both times.
Well, Ruben, the little story about me and you goes way back to the 80s, I believe. I was a young punk kid, and I was a very low C player, and I didn't know if I wanted to play racquetball or football. And you and Jack Newman did a camp in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and my dad made me go. Literally, I didn't want to go. I wanted to do other things, but he just saw something in me in racquetball. And I saw you and Jack playing with Jimmy Lowe, and you're the first professional I ever saw. I'm going to try to do this without getting too emotional. But I wasn't going to be in racquetball. It was my dad's thing, and seeing you play is what kept me in racquetball. And if you look at the lineage of it, had I not been there to see you play and just to get turned on to the professional tour and want to aspire to that, the IRT network wouldn't exist. And you're a big part of my professional career, and I just want to thank you on behalf of the network for inspiring this young kid years ago to stay in the sport.
Well, I'm really glad that me and Jack gave the opportunity to give you that lesson to stay with racquetball, and this is what it's all about. I played all these years, I competed, and at a certain point, it doesn't mean that it's all for Ruben. It all became for a person like you to come in and inspire you to play, inspire these young kids to play, inspire the families, the father, the mother to come out and play, and the older generations too to say, well, instead of watching TV, and Ruben could go out there and play at his age, I could do this too. So, last couple of years it was, yes, I wanted to come out and play and try to be in the top 10, but all this was to inspire people to keep going, never give up. And it's just a number, to just come out and have a great time and support the sport.
Ruben, you are absolute class, one of the great guys in the sport. Thank you for all the great memories, and I know we'll see you in a different capacity, but still around the sport. But it's been absolute joy watching you on and watching you on the court and having you on the microphone. Thank you for everything that you've done for me and for the network.
Well, I want to thank, I want to thank all my friends, my fans that supported me all these years. And of course, Russ is like punching me in the back to say his name. But Russ is the one who kind of really started me with racquetball. But again, I've been blessed, that I could be able to still compete at 60 and with these young kids. And, it's just hard to leave the sport and leave the professional tour. And I wish I could keep it up, but it becomes a point at a certain time you got to give up. But again, my fans, friends out there, thank you very much.
Ruben Gonzalez, I'm sure we'll have an exclusive interview with you somewhere along the way, but thanks again. Sit back, enjoy this match, and get your leg healed. I hate seeing you walk around on crutches.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's the great, legendary Hall of Famer, Ruben Gonzalez. Russ, we have a very exciting matchup here. Crowther and De La Rosa battling, 7 serving 5. You talked just before Ruben came on the mic, as you saw this being an upset. Do you still feel comfortable with that prediction, and why?
Well, a couple of reasons. I think Daniel De La Rosa plays this glass court a little better than a lot of younger players. He seems to be used to it a little more. Played Ruben on it yesterday, and then played Jose Rojas on it. So I think he's a little comfortable with the court. And I think he could get to a lot of Chris's power. He's one of those, just like that. Chris hit a great shot down the line. De La Rosa got it. Got 2 shots. Winds up pitching the ball with his forehand as the crowd goes wild here. And I think the crowd's looking for an upset also.
Absolutely, I think so. They can kind of feel it brewing. There's been upsets all weekend long, with Ackerman. We talked about him earlier. Daniel De La Rosa knocking off Jose Rojas, a 19-year-old knocking off Jose Rojas. Fair to say that he could be very well the next #1 player in the world?
Well, he could be the next top player in the world. I see him moving up the ladder this year, especially with his new deal with Pro Kennex and One Shot, who are sponsoring him, so he'll be able to get to more events. He lost that shot in the glass. So I do see this young man moving from 19 definitely into the top 10 or 12 by the end of this year, depending on, obviously, results here. This is a double-point tournament, a Grand Slam. If he could get by Chris, he'll move from 19 to around 12, 13, or 14 just in one event. But this is a big match for De La Rosa, and he looks pretty calm to me.
Part of his deal with One Shot. Oh, a big skip called. Crowther politely says, "I disagree strongly, Charlie Pratt." Charlie shaking a little bit in his boots as the crippler looks down upon him. Calls the score at 5-8. Good timeout there from Daniel De La Rosa?
Excellent timeout for De La Rosa. He might have a lot of adrenaline. He might have gotten a little tired. So he decided to just call a little timeout to regroup, not wanting to get this first game too far out of reach.
Daniel De La Rosa. De La Rosa takes a timeout at 5 serving 8 with Crowther stewing a little bit. Let's see if he sat on that frustration or he's able to get past it and make some good shots and finish out game #1.
And we're back after that timeout. Daniel De La Rosa serving at 5-8, game 1 against Chris Crowther. Tries to nick to the backhand. Good serve. Crowther forced to go up front. De La Rosa leaves it off the back wall, not able to handle Chris's down the line backhand power pass shot. Crowther back in the box at 8-5. Replay call on that shot. Referee Charlie Pratt thought Daniel was in the way.
Point. 9-5.
Chris Crowther with another point, has a 9-5 lead, game 1 over Daniel De La Rosa. De La Rosa needs to get something going here at 5-9. Switches to the Beltran high lob to the Crowther forehand. Comes off the back wall.
Point.
Russ, we'd like to say hi to Jack Crowther, who's watching back in Riverside, California. sending us his hellos and watching his son play here on the court, who's up 6-9, Daniel De La Rosa, with a serve right on the wall. Crowther goes cross court, forcing Daniel up top. Crowther's going to step into this one, blast it down the line at 190. Daniel scrambling to get to it, but couldn't catch up.
Jack Crowther, a good friend of mine, plays in my age division at all national events, and I guess Jack's not too happy that I actually picked an upset this match.
I think he's close to your age division, maybe 10 years off or so. Crowther off the back wall, goes down the line. Daniel De La Rosa pops it back up. Crowther, big forehand, and buries it down. Can Crowther keep those swings going? I mean, that's a monstrosity of a swing. It takes a lot of effort. See if he can keep it up at 10-6. Opportunity for the first game. Set up into the corner, but Daniel De La Rosa is there to re-kill it. Chris wants a skip. Disagrees. Chris was saying that skipped.
Chris can keep it up, even though he's the tallest player on tour, the biggest player on tour. He plays hard every point. Chris leaves it all on the table every time. I've seen him play 5-game tiebreakers, hitting the ball just as hard every play.
Chris wants a hinder. No hinder called. Sorry for the graphics again. Violence on the court as the Pro Pin HD blown to bits. Ball guts all over the floor.
I don't think
Small children, please turn your heads.
I don't think we've seen too many broken balls until the Chris Crowther match.
Replay 6-10. Yep, point.
Break for De La Rosa. A skip on a lob serve from Crowther. 7-10, game 1.
Chris with a big misfire there. De La Rosa sticking it on the wall. Chris has to go to the ceiling. What a great serve. Daniel with an opportunity for his 8th point. Goes cross court, and Chris slowing the uptake as he was just kind of pinned, Russ, in behind Daniel De La Rosa and the wall. He had to wait to clear out and couldn't catch up to it. Look at this. Nice little point score run. 8-10. Daniel De La Rosa trying to force that one a little too much. Chris couldn't put it down. Chris has got to take it off the sidewall. De La Rosa's right there with a great diving get. Back and forth they go. Who's going to win this point? Daniel says it's going to be me, but they're re-pinching the pinch. As both players misfiring here. Chris catches the sidewall for the side out. Russ, a little sloppy play midway through that rally as both players are just kind of hitting the ball without any intention. Crowther, though, able to readjust and nick the side wall for a side out.
Yeah. Chris's power showed up there, his consistency and steadiness, working De La Rosa. He seemed to have control of that rally. Daniel had a couple of opportunities, wasn't able to put it away. Crowther, game point number 2.
At 10-8, across the service line, into the corner. 2 bounces called. Not sure that Charlie Pratt would have been able to see that 2-bouncer, but there's a good reason why you have line judges. We've got Nick Montalbano and Mike Orr line judging, both of them calling a 2-bouncer. And that is a very good reason of why line judges work, especially in a case like this when there's a whole lot of money on the line. We want to say hello to everybody watching across the IRT network during this towel timeout. Crowther got here by taking out Javier Moreno last night. A lot of people picked Javi for the upset, but Crowther won in 3 relatively quick games, 2-2 and 3. Crowther, again, the number 6 ranked player in the world, number 6 seed in this tournament, taking on 19 seed and 19-year-old Daniel De La Rosa, who forces that one at the shoulders.
And going to get the point on that.
9-10.
He did get the point. That was kind of a forced shot. One of the things, and it's falling in for him right now, but one of the things I'm noticing about young De La Rosa is that he's going bottom board almost every single time, and just on cue, he goes up top. But he's shooting a lot of shots, Russ, a lot of shots that maybe he should be a little more patient. Is that just a 19-year-old at the biggest stage of his life trying to swing from the, swing from his feet and roll every shot out?
No, I think he's actually doing the right thing. He may be going for a little more than he would with a lower-ranked player, but if you give Chris too many ceiling shots, Chris's power will definitely be to his advantage. So I think that the little extra offense that De La Rosa is showing is going to do him well. So I think he's really has a real good game plan, and obviously his game plan is working because he's serving at 9-10 with an opportunity to tie it up.
Crowther seems a little dejected right now, almost like he's not the guy ahead. Daniel, from 6-10, now at 9-10. This is a huge point for him. Crowther hits the corner. De La Rosa's right there. And a nice little flick of the wrist. Daniel knows he's missed his opportunity. Once again, Russ, I know you say you like the way Daniel's doing it, but there's a few missed opportunities there as he's just trying to flat roll the ball where he's missing it down the line and leaves the pinch open. This is a 4th game point opportunity for for Chris Crowther. Foot fault and short serve called. Should be a double fault.
Well, De La Rosa, that previous shot went for the right shot. He just missed it.
Crowther, just a little half lob serve. De La Rosa showing some patience up top. He's got to scramble to get to it and can. A wide angle pass gives Chris Crowther game number 1. We've got some very exciting action here at the 2012 United Healthcare U.S. Open. This is the IRT Network. Want to say hey to Bill Martin watching down in Memphis, Tennessee. To Gene in Kentucky. A lot of folks. That looked like a short ball, not called. I guess it just looked short from here. De La Rosa doesn't care. Rocky Carson, fist pump and all, back in the box at 3-1. Lots of dignitaries around the sport in attendance. Glad to see everybody in the USAR, IRT, WAR, LPRT, everybody's here. Crowther grunting. You can hear him in the mic. Hitting a big monster backhand down the line. Even Jason Thorner's here. Got to see him earlier today. Crowther slow to get that. Russ, at what point does the large size of Chris Crowther start to take an effect on his legs? He's in great shape, but we've seen some of the longer matches that he's in, some of the big profile matches that he's in. Seems like his legs or his back gives out just a little bit before anything else does. Do you think we'll see that this match?
I don't think we'll see that this match. I don't think this match will be as long as like if he's playing a Rocky Carson, which will wear you down a little more because Rocky hits more junk balls and more ceiling shots. De La Rosa is more of a bottom board player, so the rallies will be shorter.
That's an amazing shot. You can hear the crowd loving the action there.
3-1.
Hey to Joe, Andre, Cameron, lots of people watching across the network. Chris with his own powerful shot, killed in the sidewall. 1, serving 3. Russ, this is a very long start to the second game.
Yes, they've been on 3-0, 3-1 for a while.
Crowther up top. Daniel De La Rosa cuts it off from hitting the back wall. Now set up at the encroachment line. Goes cross court. He showed that he was going to go down the line. And then at the very last minute, rips it cross court. That is a veteran play.
He's a little tricky for Chris. I see Chris not being able to read De La Rosa that well.
Hey to Janet Tyler, just creating a subscription, signing up. Welcome to the IRT Network.
4-1.
Brad Cullen, the score at 4, serves 1. Half lob, backhand side, Crowther up top, Daniel De La Rosa. Splat kills and a nice shot. Russ, this is exactly what he did to Jose Rojas last night. Rojas played good. De La Rosa played better. He just shot better shots and made fewer errors and rolled out a tremendous amount of shots. Who does Daniel De La Rosa remind you of right now?
He reminds me of Daniel De La Rosa.
The way he's stepping in, that's well said, Russ. Took him 30 seconds to answer with the obvious. He reminds me of Kane, the way he's stepping in and crossing over on the backhand side and just making real easy splat flat rollouts from the backhand. He's got a real nice crossover hitting that shot. Very similar to the king of racquetball. We'll see him as well here at the U.S. Open. He's made it to the quarterfinals, and he'll be taking on Tony Carson, the younger son of Rocky Carson.
At 5 p.m.
Crowther with a foot fault not called. Sends that one to the ceiling. Daniel De La Rosa has to fight it up top. Big setup for Crowther. Goes down the line, but De La Rosa's right there, and we're going to have an avoidable hinder call. De La Rosa's not going to argue that as Crowther almost rolled him out. 2 serves 5. Serve looked short, not called. From the ear, Crowther grunts, and he's going to step real big into this one and skips the ball. Little bit of an overswing there, Russ. Too much time. One of those kind of things.
Yeah, combination of both.
5-2.
Chris knows it. He gave himself a little look. He rolled his eyes. Knew he had an opportunity. Actually hit that one too hard.
De La Rosa catches that into the corner. Nice shot. What a save, too. That's just hustle right there. He wasn't going to give up on it. He just flicked, boasted the ball from the deep left to the front right corner, flat rolls, and Crowther kind of meanders around and takes a timeout. Timeout, Chris Crowther at 6 serving 2 when we come back. You're watching great racquetball action on the IRT network. If you go outside, you'd find one of the reasons why. It's cold here. It's supposed to be down in the 20s tomorrow night, but it's hot inside the Lucite court. They call this the court that Leo built. There's a great diving get off the back wall. Crowther steps into that cross court. He's got an opportunity and skips the ball inches from the front wall. That is just right and left, boxing back and forth. Daniel De La Rosa showing some good scrappy hustle. Gives himself an opportunity here to tie things up. 10 serving 3. Crowther down the line and puts himself in the box as if it's just a normal day in the office.
3-10.
Crowther with a half lob serve. Daniel not fooled and skips that one though. Russ right now as we look to go possibly even up 1 game apiece. Does Crowther still have the momentum, or is it clearly in the court for Daniel De La Rosa?
Assuming De La Rosa wins this game, the momentum is definitely in De La Rosa's corner.
And did we just give him the broadcaster's jinx, where you just assume he's going to win this game, and then all of a sudden, it's a 12-10 game?
Well, we didn't. You did.
It's the first right thing you've said all weekend. De La Rosa serving for the second game point. Crowther up top. Good patience. Oh, a skip ceiling ball. They call that the John Scott.
4-10.
Chris is going to take this off the back wall. Down the line. De La Rosa's there to re-rip it. And a 2-bounce call. That's the right call as Chris put that down. If it wasn't going to be 2 bounces, probably would have been an avoidable. There's a lot of Chris Crowther you got to work around in there.
4-10.
4 serving 10. I want to say hi to Fran Davis making the coffee run to our favorite coffee spot. Coming back into the booth. We'll hear her later today as well. Crowther backhand down the line. Daniel De La Rosa wants something, not sure what. And a replay called there. Crowther's not going to like this. Daniel's not going to like this. The crowd doesn't like this. I think this whole court's out of order.
4-10.
Hit a Brian Simpson out in Illinois signing up for a subscription. 2 bounces called.
10-4.
De La Rosa for a 4th time to get this game in the books.
10-4 drive serve, forehand side. He's got an opportunity here. No, he goes up top. Crowther's got some daylight before the back wall. Into the corner and into the record books goes game number 2. We have a battle on our hands. 1 game apiece. Chris Crowther, Daniel De La Rosa. More great racquetball action coming your way right here on the IRT Network.
Crowther at 2-4.
Side out. 4-2.
Crowther has to get it off the glass. He does, but Daniel with a big setup down the line. Not sure what the call was.
5-2.
5 serving 2. Crowther shooting the ball at the back glass.
The call was good, John Scott.
I kind of figured since Daniel De La Rosa is still serving. Drive serve. Oh, no short call. Chris is not going to like this if he doesn't win this point. Daniel with a nice stretch out get into the corner. He's there now and a nice touch. What a shot from Daniel De La Rosa. Amazing. Absolutely amazing racquetball action at the U.S. Open.
As the very partial Daniel De La Rosa crowd lets him know that they're behind him. Good serve by De La Rosa. Better return by Chris Crowther.
Mike Martinez is probably the most nervous person in this whole room as he's sitting down courtside quiet. Martinez, the owner of Pro Kennex USA. He's signed 2 huge players. The #1 player in the world, Kane Wasselinchuk, and just recently re-signing, as well as with 1 shot, with Daniel De La Rosa. I just never would have thought in the quarterfinals at the U.S. Open, at least not this year, we would see Alex Ackerman and Daniel De La Rosa. In the pregame, or excuse me, in the announcements, introduction of the players, part of the script was it's kind of a changing of the guard. I'm summarizing it, but this U.S. Open has shown some of the young up-and-coming players. I don't even know if you can really say up-and-coming players anymore with De La Rosa. I think he has arrived. I think he's using this to make a statement, win or lose. He is here to stay. Crowther fights that off the back wall. Daniel with a fake cross court. Crowther's not going to catch that.
Smart play by the young De La Rosa. And even if Daniel De La Rosa, just like Alex Ackerman earlier, would lose this match, it would still be a very successful tournament for both of these gentlemen. Timeout by Chris Crowther.
Now back to the action we go. Daniel De La Rosa with a nice shot there. Off the back wall. Down the line. In the service box. Crowther seems, again, a little dejected. He's moving pretty slow around there. And all the pop, all the bounce, all the pep in the step. That's Daniel De La Rosa right now at 8 serving 3 as he pulls off part of the court from his shoe. The tape coming off just a little bit on the encroachment lines there. Chris wants a screen. No screen called. Meanders back up. And Daniel De La Rosa makes him pay for not playing aggressive. Hey to Ryan Edmonston and Angel Rodriguez, both signing up for a subscription. Travis Woodbury watching back in Memphis. Miss him on tour. Charlie Pratt smarting off a little bit to Crowther, saying that's why I have line judges, Chris. It's a very good point, though. Crowther up top. De La Rosa off the back glass. Cross court. Put down. Daniel De La Rosa is on fire.
10-3.
Short serve by De La Rosa. Ever since De La Rosa was down 10-6 the first game, he's dominated.
Second serve.
Joy McKenzie and Jose Felix, Ryan Edmonston. Guys, thanks a lot for signing up for a subscription, for a 1-month subscription. Kenneth Woodfin signing up for a 1-year subscription. Crowther can't get this ball around Daniel De La Rosa. He boasts that one. Crowther on the run, catches it, and puts it down. Even though Crowther came out ahead there, I think that rally took a lot of steam out of him.
Without a doubt. Best rally of the match so far, appreciated greatly by the crowd. The heavily favored De La Rosa crowd did appreciate the hustle by the giant Chris Crowther.
I want to say hi to Rocky Carson in the house, just comes into the booth, and a replay there from Daniel De La Rosa. Is that one of those you got to swing at this point in the game? Sudsy would say, swing for the fences. Here we are at 10-3. Daniel De La Rosa is going to swing away to take a 2-1 lead between the legs. Crowther not phased.
To answer your original question, yes, De La Rosa should have swung at that and either get the penalty hinder from referee Charlie Pratt or go for the offensive shot. What he did is he allowed Chris to get a hinder.
Chris looking for a serve, so he goes with a drive serve, Z serve. Down the line, and a boast from Daniel De La Rosa. De La Rosa just absolutely on fire. Showing some great mental fortitude and just, I mean, he's just smooth right now. A 10 serving 3. Serving for his second opportunity here in this game. Drive serve off the back glass. Crowther leaves it up. He's going to have an opportunity to put himself back in the box. He does, down the line with a nice kill shot. We're live in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the 2012 United Healthcare U.S. Open. Crowther trying to scrap back into this. Off the back glass, into the corner. De La Rosa's right there. But a 2-bounce call from, I believe, Nick Montalbano, who's also in this draw. I do like how the tour provides real professional tour players to call some of these games, especially the higher marquee games, so they know the bounce, they see the ball. Crowther with a nice re-kill there, and look at that. He hit the ball and then just kind of hunched over. What's going through Crowther's head right now, Russ?
I think, number one, he doesn't like the fact that he's working so hard to score points, aside from the fact that he's losing. Maybe he's just a little frustrated with some of Charlie Pratt's calls, just like that one he thought skipped.
10-5.
10 serving 5.
And Chris bantering with someone in the crowd.
Somebody in the crowd saying it was a bad call, and he says, I know. Thanks. Daniel De La Rosa, say it ain't so. You're going up to the 4th game, 2-1. We'll be back in just a moment as we're live at the United Healthcare U.S. Open. This is the IRT Network.
And we are back to the action here for Game 4 at the 2012 United Healthcare U.S. Open Racquetball Championships. And De La Rosa with another quick start, getting the lead on Crowther here once again, 3 games in a row. At 1-0, De La Rosa up 2-1. And a sloppy rally by Chris Crowther. Chris Crowther calling an injury timeout. 2-1 to young Daniel De La Rosa, and 2-0 here in Game 4.
Replay.
Looks like a broken ball. It is. De La Rosa throws it out of the court, gets a new one, and we'll do it again. at 2-0. Short serve by De La Rosa.
Side out. 0-2.
A serve by Crowther, which it looks like he's going to need a few. Looks like he's standing up pretty straight. So a little stiffness in the back area. Looks like he's gingerly bending over to serve. Nonetheless, bends over for that one. Flat rolls out a kill shot to tie this game 4 up at 2 apiece.
2-2.
Serving killed by Chris Crowther. He's back in the service box again at 2 apiece. Drive serving.
Two serving 2 here in the 4th game. Crowther's got a big setup, puts it in the corner. Russ, so I was talking with Charlie Pratt, the official. I'm not sure if you could hear, but basically Crowther gets 2 7.5-minute injury timeouts. And the first one he took was about 2 minutes, 2 minutes long. However, when you take it, it's not an allotted amount of time. So if you take 2 minutes or you take 7.5 minutes, you've taken your first injury timeout. As a former coach, there's a foot fault called. As a former coach, would you have advised him to take longer? Because it seems like he's still hurting. Or did he need to just get off, get a breather, and come back in?
It depends on the injury, but since it's a back injury, sometimes if you cool off, it stiffens up even more. So that's why Chris probably decided to come back right away. But his back is still hurting. You can see him bending over gingerly, John Scott.
Crowther has been plagued by back problems, and it's one of the unintended consequences of, I think, a little more play. And by more play, what I'm talking about is the 2-serve rule. When you look back in the archives at the 2-serve rule, when it came into effect, what was that, last season? Maybe the season before, actually. Chris started displaying back problems around the Sarasota event, the Tampa event during that season. There's another big foot fault. But I think it has something to do with, obviously, he's a big guy with a lot of torque on that lower back. And we'll see if we can ask him somewhere along the way. But that's when I started noticing Crowther's back problems. And he's been plagued. That's a short serve, it looked like. He's been plagued by those back problems ever since. Daniel almost takes that one off the head of Crowther, who falls into the side wall.
Yeah, just looking at Chris, I don't think he's going to be able to finish this match. He's giving a really game effort to suck through this and actually has the lead.
4 serving 2. This is where we're going to see that extra level of Daniel and his mental, again, his mental toughness. This is where you go for the kill. You don't play around. You don't take anything off. You just basically smell blood and go for it. Crowther lunges out to get that one, and then just kind of smacks into the wall. If you're just tuning in, Crowther is up in the 4th game, 2 serving 4, though he's down in total games 2-1. He won the first 11-9. De La Rosa came back and won the next 2, 11-4 and 5. Crowther from the knees hits that up top. Daniel off the back wall, down the line. Crowther's going to be in the way right there. Oh my goodness! A replay call when that should be unavoidable.
Once again, you're wrong, John Scott. He's got to swing at that shot. He had plenty of time to swing at the shot. He had the offensive shot, and you have to take it.
I know that you have to take that shot.
You can't just not hope that the referee is going to call a penalty.
I agree with you there. I agree that you still have to swing at the shot. But just because he didn't swing, that's an avoidable hinder. He had a plumb set up on the backhand side with your person out of position. He didn't swing because he didn't want to hit him with the racket, and that's a cookie cutter avoidable hinder. I think Charlie just missed.
Apparently you're right, and Charlie and I are incorrect.
Crowther can't catch up to that one. Really, really hurting. Lots of folks in the chat box agreeing with John Scott. That's okay, Russ. I know we're far away from the court. You would have seen that a few years ago.
How many times could your mother-in-law chat in on the chat box?
4 serving 3. Want to say hey to Hugo Sanchez, Guadalupe Chavez, Dan Driscoll. All signing up for a subscription here on the IRT network. De La Rosa wanted a screen, no screen call. Takes a lot off that, and stretched out Chris Crowther skips it off the frame. And skips that one too in frustration. Three serving 4. High lob serve right on the glass. No, just sneaks off of it. Crowther with a splat kill. A 2-bounce called by everybody in the house. Both line judges, the head referee, Jason Menino from his booth. Everybody's saying that was a 2-bouncer.
4-3.
4 serving 3. This is quarterfinal number 2 of 4. Rocky Carson will be next. That'll be Carson and Vandy. Crowther with a football. Russ, let me ask you, I mean, if your back is hurting like it looks like it is, do you still bear down on those drive serves? Is that the coaching that you would give, or do you maybe say, hey, don't go so aggressive on the serve and put yourself in position for a weak return?
Apparently Chris is able to drive serve. It's probably just certain movements that hurt him.
Crowther scoops, can't come up with it. Daniel back in the box, down 1 point, 3 serves 4.
De La Rosa looking for a hinder call on that. Apparently he's going to get it.
4-3.
As he held up, Crowther will drive serve again at 4-3. Nice soft backhand touch by De La Rosa to get him back in the service box.
3-4.
At 3-4, Daniel De La Rosa up 2-1 over Chris Crowther.
Still 4 serves, 3. Game number 4. Chris has done a fantastic job just putting on the brakes this whole match. Serve to the backhand side, catches the encroachment line and forces De La Rosa up top off the back wall. Crowther with a nice shot. Crowther can creep into this, and it looks like that's his intentions. Maybe slowing things down too much for De La Rosa. Is this a veteran play here from Crowther to just literally put the brakes on everything?
Yeah, he's slowing things down a little, and maybe time is going to heal his wound. He seems to be playing a little better or flattening out his shots a little now that he had to slow up. But his back is still hurting him, so I don't know if it's going to get better or worse. I don't think he does either.
5-3.
Stephanie Lee Whitaker. Alexandra Latendry, thanks for signing up, as well as Cesar Morales.
6-3.
Skip shot by De La Rosa. Looks like he's calling a timeout. Things aren't going well for young Daniel De La Rosa.
De La Rosa takes a timeout, and we'll take one as we are live in Minneapolis at the United Healthcare U.S. Open. This is the IRT Network. And we're back to the action, ladies and gentlemen, at 7 serving 3 here at the U.S. Open. De La Rosa goes cross court, but Crowther's right there. De La Rosa says, get this, bad back. Splat rollout from 38 of his own. And puts it down. Puts him in the box. Let's see if this is a good timeout. It was a good time to take a timeout, maybe even a point late. But let's see what he does right here. 3 serving 7 off the back and side wall. Crowther connects on the front wall.
7-3.
7 serving 3. Crowther wanting to go 5. A lot of us did not see this going 5. De La Rosa forcing that one from way back deep. Had to make it perfect. Comes up short. 8-3.
8-3.
De La Rosa, oh, skips that one, runs around the backhand of the forehand side. Crowther showing some good veteran prowess out there as he's encroaching on this 4th game. And De La Rosa says, yep, but I'm Superman. I'm going to splat roll this out. Great shot. 3 serving 9, high lob. Catches the glass. Crowther can shoot this down the line. Oh, no, another skip from De La Rosa.
9-3.
Look at this fast. That was a quick serve from Crowther. Not sure why Pratt called a hold. Did he not call the score? Not sure what the holdup was there. Short serve called.
Second serve.
Short serve called. 9 serving 3 once again. If you're trying to find the chat box, click on the word, or click on the box up in the top right part of your player. It'll say side box. Click that and you'll see the word chat. And there you go. You can jump in the IRT Network chat box, which is currently up for advertising opportunities. All advertising opportunities on the IRT Network can be directed, or inquiries rather, can be directed to info at irtnetwork.com. Skip ball called. Chris giving the thumbs up. Charlie actually didn't even call that. Both line judges did. Mike Orr looks at Charlie Pratt that says, after he calls a skip, and says, Charlie, why'd you call that a skip? Stoic is Mike Orr, just trying not to look directly at Crowther. Look like it skipped from here. 4 serving 9. Crowther trying to touch that ball away. Oh, and skips that one in too. Daniel's having some opportunities, but he's leaving a few of his pinches up way too high. So far, Russ, good timeout for De La Rosa at 5-9.
Without a doubt. He has a head on his shoulders. But a good pass by Crowther slows the De La Rosa train down.
9 serving 5. Crowther with this an easy lob serve cross court, almost encroaching was De La Rosa. And he can't battle back and forth in that service box with Chris. Chris has a giant wingspan, a huge step, and very good hands, especially for a big guy. Chris now 1 point away from going to a 5-gamer. Ball skips off his racket. Win or lose, De La Rosa needs to get some momentum. Right now, if we went to 5, I think it'd be very, very difficult for De La Rosa to win. There's a quick serve return kill rally. 6 serves 10. Echelon scoreboard lit up today. Daniel with a nice diving get. He's got that one too. Cross court. Chris, another skip. 3 straight skips from Crowther. 1 for a side out, 2 for points. Here comes De La Rosa. 7-10. Chris said, I wanted the ball to go to the front wall first. Pops it back. A little gamesmanship on both of them. De La Rosa's got that with a good get. Clears out. Crowther cross court. Puts it down in the middle of the front wall. Serving for the game in a 5-gamer once again. 10-7 this time. Crowther with a big step, foot fought called. You can see those giant size 16s from Crowther from here stepping way over the line. Again, Crowther measures 6'6". Kind of a cut lob serve. Daniel De La Rosa loves that though, right in the wheelhouse, and some very, very big aggressiveness from Daniel. Chris wanting to check the ball. Ball's good. 7-10. A little too much daylight, but Chris can't put it down. No hinder called at all right there. Russ, do you agree with that one?
I think De La Rosa once again has to swing. You can't expect the call from the referee. You want to hinder, swing, put your hand up.
Hey to Victor Manila, John Varela, and VJ, not even going to try the last name. Thanks, guys, for signing up. Good fought call. Z serve to the backhand side. Crowther tries to get in position. He gets that one now off the back glass. Crowther can't catch it. Daniel De La Rosa scrapping to stay into this. 7-10. High lob once again to the forehand side. Crowther will probably go cross court. He does. And Daniel De La Rosa is there waiting for the re-kill. Daniel hit that serve, and you could see coming back, Russ, that there's only one angle other than a ceiling ball that Crowther could have done if he's shooting that, and that's cross court. Is that by design? Is Daniel that smart of a player already to hit that serve and know it's coming back at him?
Yes, he knows Chris's tendencies. Chris got a little tired, and he winds up calling a timeout.
Great timeout for Daniel De La Rosa. Great timeout possibly for Chris Crowther. We'll have to find out in just a moment. You're watching live racquetball on the IRT Network.
a tired Chris Crowther with a little run by Daniel De La Rosa. De La Rosa 3 points from winning this match. Make that 4 points. But he still has to catch up. He's up 2 games to 1 over Chris Crowther. He'll be serving at 8-10.
8-10. Daniel found a serve that worked for him through the last part of this game. He stays with it. Has to go up top there. Crowther with an opportunity. And puts it down. Crowther, I think this is his 4th opportunity at this game to push 5. 10, serving 8. Crowther bringing the heat. Foot fault called. Crowther has not foot faulted in quite a while. And part of that, Russ, I'm not sure if you're watching his front foot. If he would point his foot towards the front wall versus skip ball, if he would point his front foot towards the front wall somewhat versus the side wall, he'd have a lot more real estate in there. But he's always pointing the foot perpendicular to the front wall, giving less surface area, thus the foot fault. And he has a gigantic step, of course. He leaves that one way up. And a replay call. That's a good call. As there was only a save opportunity for De La Rosa, but it would have been off the back wall. And the replay call. 8 serving 10. De La Rosa. High lob to the backhand once again. Chris from the back glass. It's a good save, but now Chris has another opportunity. De La Rosa's right there, goes wide. Chris dives and gets that. Set up at the encroachment line. Right to Chris's forehand. They're going back and forth at the encroachment line. Now they clear out. De La Rosa from 35 with the splat. Chris right back at him, and De La Rosa skips the ball, knows he missed a huge opportunity. Chris calling in the towel boys and towel girls. De La Rosa a little too excited and comes up with a big skip at a bad time. Frank Gamilia, Carlos Contreras, thanks guys, signing up for a subscription to the IRT network. Our next event after this event, though we have a lot of racquetball to play, it's going to be in Davidson, Michigan. We've also got lots of Tier 1s going on. Also, the LPRT network is in full swing, as is the WAR network. Lots of great racquetball action throughout the year, and we've got a lot more to bring you here from the U.S. Open. Back to the action we go at 10 serving 8. Crowther drives serving with a foot fault once again. Crowther drives C-serve to the backhand side. Daniel down the line. Now he's got some daylight. That's probably going to end it. No, yes it does. De La Rosa was right there, but comes up short. We're going to 5, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first 5th gamer of the day. The crowd on their feet. You are watching live racquetball from the United Healthcare U.S. Open, and you're watching it live on the IRT network.
7-5.
7-5, Crowther. Drive serve. Off the back sidewall down the line. And a replay call. Crowther's going to call in the towel boy once again.
7-5.
And back to the action we go. 7 serving 5. Crowther drives serve. Down the line. De La Rosa goes cross court, overswings that once again. Puts that one down, but Crowther's right there. Wants a replay. No hinder called. And Crowther, frustrated, yelling at Charlie. Some marginal no call there. But at this level, I mean, with a guy like Chris, Russ, there's always going to be some close contact, some close calls, and a lot of body bumping going on in there.
Yeah, Chris is just trying to work Charlie. He wants that next call.
Oh, boy, a big skip there. Chris's hand was on De La Rosa's back as he was trying to get around him. De La Rosa's going to get a technical if he's not careful. Charlie Pratt not calling the hitting the ball after the rally rule right now, though. 7-5.
Yeah, that was an opportunity for De La Rosa. He tried a touch shot. It didn't work. Winds up losing the rally.
Russ, I was just getting ready to say that. Absolutely. Daniel has had a couple opportunities now to pull it back within one or even and has been unable to do so. He's got an equipment timeout here. Lob serve. De La Rosa cuts it off, showing some aggression. That's an avoidable hinder.
Well, that was good thinking by De La Rosa. He went for an offensive shot off the lob to the forehand. He just wound up getting in the way. Huge point for Crowther. This is even a huger point.
This is the biggest point of this match so far. Crowther skips it in, trying to sell it. Crowther does a great job selling E-Force rackets. He can't sell that shot, though. Dry Z serve. Crowther has to go to the ceiling. Daniel's got to get this point. Goes cross court. Chris is right there. Buries it in the corner. 8-5. Good bounce for De La Rosa. Needs to go down the line here. Oh, he leaves the ball way up. Crowther wants a hinder. No hinder call. Back glass set up down the line. Crowther owning the court well, but a Pro Kinex missed hit from the right side of the wall. Makes it a flat rollout. And De La Rosa yelling at himself. Kinex makes a great frame and you buy all the racket. The assist goes to the Pro Kinex head guard there. De La Rosa to the ceiling. Crowther, back glass, cross court. And De La Rosa with another big skip.
Some sloppy play by De La Rosa. Had a couple of opportunities earlier and one now. He's fortunate that Crowther's is still stuck on 8.
Drive serve. Foot fault. Short foot fault. Second serve for Crowther. Z serve. De La Rosa cuts it off. Goes back to the backhand side. That's some good pressure. And De La Rosa saying to himself, that's what you need to be doing. Moving Crowther around. Putting him back on the defensive. Crowther asking for the ball. This is some great stall tactics from Crowther. If I'm Crowther, I'm loving it. If I'm De La Rosa, I'm hating it. Not a lot you can do, though. I mean, there's a lot of stall in play here. And back to the action we go. Fifth game, 5-8. For a chance to get to the semifinals, here we are in the breaker. Chris goes to the ceiling. De La Rosa, set up back glass, puts it down. That's huge. Big point. De La Rosa chipping away. Now it's 6-8.
That is a big point for De La Rosa. He's been stuck on 5 for a while.
Just off center of the box with a high lob to the backhand side. That's a good nick lob. Chris is going to get some daylight. De La Rosa wants a hinder. Chris wanted a hinder. Charlie Pratt says no to both of you and a side out.
8-6.
Crowther, try serve, foot fault. I think there should be a limit of foot fault serves. Maybe you get 30 or so per match. Crowther would have been out 2 games ago. Z serve. Tough serve. Crowther's got an opportunity to make it 9 here. Daniel tracks it down and swings. Air ball makes it 9-6. De La Rosa has just not been able to pull this game and tie it up or even get within one since the onset of this. Crowther just meandering around the court. 9 serving 6. The crowd trying to will Daniel. Daniel to the ceiling. Crowther overhead. Into the corner. Chris Crowther 1 point away when it looked like it was lights out. We have a match point opportunity at 10 serving 6. The Crippler, the number 6 seed and ranked player in the world, driving for the match. De La Rosa puts it down and says not yet. De La Rosa's got to pull it out here. The crowd's going to do everything they can. 6-10. And a miss once again from Daniel De La Rosa. Chris, as slowly as they possibly can, walks back in the service box for what's more than likely a foot fault serve. Not called, though. For the match, cross court. Daniel tracks it down, dives, gets it into the corner. What an amazing shot at an amazing time. Daniel De La Rosa with an amazing boast diving get into the left-hand corner. And Crowther immediately calls in the towel boy. Daniel De La Rosa doesn't want to go away. Russ, I think that once play resumes, he probably ought to come out firing. Just leave it all on the court. Swing for the fences and try to get some drive serves to build this momentum. There's no more room for error for Daniel De La Rosa. He's going to go with the lob serve, though, to the forehand side. Crowther will either go up or cross court. He goes cross court. Daniel to the ceiling. Good quick hands. That's Chris's go-to shot when he's up there. He can easily track that ball down and just punches it down. Makes him a very good doubles player as well when he's covering that spot on the court. For the match for the third time, Crowther serving. 10-6. Drive serve. It's a jam serve. De La Rosa stays with it, but Chris Crowther pulls out the match. What a great match. Crowther wins in 5. The crowd loves the racquetball action here in Minneapolis. You're watching the United Healthcare U.S. Open, and you've just watched Chris Crowther walk his way into the semifinals.